Hello, everybody, once again. Good afternoon. Uh, while we expect other people to join us, I think it's important that we kickstart so that we do not keep our facilitators waiting. Yeah, so I just want to give brief introduction and then yield the floor to the moderator to lead the conversation. Yeah, so the this session is actually very important because community pharmacy is a critical aspect of healthcare, and we have that many pharmacy students and young pharmacists usually select community pharmacy as the area of choice when you're thinking of the area to explore or to specialize in for their career. And for us at Pharma Incubation Hub, our goal really is to empower young students, pharmacy students, to be able to make excellent career choices, to be able to gain necessary knowledge that will empower them to make the right career choices. And seeing that community pharmacy is a critical aspect of pharmacy practice, where we do not have many pharmacists doing it right, where we do not have many pharmacists practicing excellently. I think that it's important and it's indeed a privilege to have someone like pharmacist Taofik Odukoya share his very precious time with us, with pharmacy students, giving back to the next generation of pharmacists so that they are able to make the right career choices and right decisions, especially as it pertains to community pharmacy practice. So yes, I encourage you all to pay attention, be hungry for knowledge. I hope you have your pens and papers with you. And I hope that there are no distractions where you are. Just come to learn really. Taofik Odukoya is always very passionate about sharing knowledge to everybody, especially pharmacists. And I'm really honored and delighted to have him speak with you all, pharmacy students. Whatever you are going to learn today will not only be important for the now, but also for the future. Some of you are close to graduation already as a result of the strike. Um, you will most like, if some of you probably intern in community pharmacies, some of you will own community pharmacies in future as well, right? And this, whatever knowledge you're going to gain from today, is knowledge that has been garnered for more than 10 years, I believe, of his experience that will be distilled in about 90 minutes. That's a whole lot, right? So the best you can do for yourself is to come hungry, come ready to learn, and yeah, ask questions, right? Ask questions. Sessions like this are sessions that are actually highly paid, premium coaching sessions that you should pay, in dollars for, not in naira now, in dollars. So yes. Listen attentively, be hungry, take note of all that he will share, ask questions and ask questions and ask questions, note your key takeaways, and really digest the knowledge he will be sharing and be able to identify key takeaways that will practically impact your personal life, your academic life, and hopefully your career. I now yield the floor to our moderator for today to lead the session. Over to our moderator.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Fam Taiwo. Good evening. How was your day? Sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? How was our day? For those of us in class, how were classes, tests, and exams? Hope you're all doing well. So I welcome our speaker for today, and I also welcome us all once again to today's session. This is a session that promises to be interesting, educating, enlightening, and fun. Because personally, as a person, the moment I heard who the speaker is, I was very intrigued and very eager because he's a trailblazer in the industry. He's someone with a lot of experience. He's a man of knowledge. So I'm kind of very intrigued and eager to learn. And I hope we all are too. So I welcome us all once again to this session. So I would like us all to introduce ourselves in the chat box. And for those of us that would like to speak, you can just raise up your hand and I would acknowledge when you would be allowed to. So I am Bello Alima Ayomide, a pharmacy student, 511, University of Ilorin, an event decorator, a blue moon writer, and a jeweler at surgeries. So as a budding entrepreneur, I'm also very, very, very interested. And as we all know, just like Pamtai said, community pharmacy is an aspect of pharmacy where we have a lot of people in right now. But who are those getting it right? Who are those that are willing to get it right? And how do you get it right? I feel like those are the questions we all have today. And I'm very, very sure that by the end of this session, we would have answers to our question. We are going to leave here with motivated goals, new ambition, and with energized spirit. I am very, very sure of that. So can we all introduce ourselves in the chat box so our speaker can get familiar with the kind of people he would be addressing today? So we have good evening, everyone. I am Akindele Peace. It is a pleasure to meet you. So I would like us all to indicate our levels too. So we have an insight on the age range or the caliber of people he is talking to. And we also have Asogwa Kenena Chidundu. It is nice to be here. Yeah, I know it is nice to be here. I'm happy to be here too. So can we have others to introduce themselves? Okay, we have Kenneth Egu. I am Kenneth Egu, 411 University of Nigeria, Nsukka. How has it been, Kenneth? Our exams coming up for you guys. I wish you all the very best, and I pray the Almighty allow all your hard work to yield good results. And we also have our speaker introducing himself. I am Taofik Odukoya, founder and CEO of Vanguard Pharmacy Limited. I graduated from University of Ibadan, class of 2001. And here is how to introduce yourself, guys. He introduced himself in a way that commands respect, in a way that was intriguing. You would want to know more about him. So he is indeed an experienced person and also a trailblazer in the profession. Then we have, I am Moxina Abdulwasi, 500 level, Ibn Nigerian University, Okada. So glad to be here. How are you doing today, Moxina? We are fine. Then we have, I am Ehima Esther, 300 level Delso, 300 level students. It's nice to see you here. We have Oyerinde Muniro Yabowale, 500 level pharmacy student, University of Ilorin. Nice to be here. You're welcome. Then we have Unzubechi Caleb, University of Lagos, 200 level. Hi Caleb, how are you doing? You're like in the category of the youngest in the faculty. Yeah, it's nice to see a young person doing this. So then we have Anthony Uche Ume, penultimate student pharmacist at University of Nigeria, Nsukka. You are welcome, Anthony. Okay, so we can all keep introducing ourselves in the chat box while we progress or move on with events of today. Then, so let us mute our mic, get our jotters and pen. You can also use your notepad, get good reception, good background, because it's going to be an interesting ride and we don't want any disturbance anywhere. So let me introduce the speaker for today. Our speaker is a top performing pharmaceutical management professional with over 20 years experience, offering professional expertise and a diverse range of skills in entrepreneurship, business management, market development, and customer relations. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Economics of Nigeria. He possesses vast managing directorship and chief executive officer experience that ensures delivery of clear objectives and exceed expectations in his businesses. Can we have the round of applause for our speaker today? Because I'm just like in the first paragraph and I'm already very, very amazed. His award-winning professionalism and highly vast academic prowess, which includes masters in both pharmacy and business management, degrees in pharmacy, supply chain management for health commodities, and business certification in budgetary and budgetary control from high-notch institutions like Ibadan for AU.
Why do we have who is the worker? Hey.
Please, I would like to remind us all to mute ourselves, please. Okay, from University of Ibadan, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Lagos Business School, and Stanford University, has distinguished him from his peers as an exceptional achiever. His work experience comprises stints with May and Baker, Nigeria German Chemicals PLC, for about 5 years, achieving a reputation as a remarkable top-performing market development staff. He specializes in creating a strong product identity and applies unique selling techniques in perpetuating corporate growth. Please, if you are admiring our speaker as I am, kindly give him a round of applause. Presently, he is the founder and CEO of Vanguard Pharmacy Limited, one of the largest pharmacy chain stores in Southwest Nigeria. He has run the brand successfully for the past 15 years with year-on-year growth that acknowledges his judicious use of experience, skill acquisition, and academic achievements. The Vanguard Pharmacy brand is a chain store and leader in retail pharmacy, veterinary, supermarket, and bakery. Vanguard Pharmacy creates smart health benefits for people to succeed and thrive. The company currently boasts of over 300 employees in its 8 locations across 3 states of the Federation and still actively expanding to other towns and cities across the country. Vanguard Pharmacy Limited won the most improved pharmaceutical retail outlet at the Nigerian Healthcare Excellence Awards in June 2021 in recognition of her astounding performance and contribution to healthcare in Nigeria. The Vanguard Pharmacy brand is positioned for massive transformation and scaling this decade, and the advisory board and management team is determined to ensure the brand becomes a national and West African retail brand by 2030. Our speaker for today is happily married to his best friend and co-founder of Vanguard Pharmacy Limited, Mrs. Kausar Bolajoko Odukoya, and they are blessed with kids. Kindly give a round of applause and welcome our speaker for today, Pharmacist Taofik Odukoya. A big round of applause for him, please.
My God.
You can use the clapping emoji,
everyone.
our speaker for today.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
How are you all doing? I hope the strike is not keeping you guys at home.
We are doing well. Some of us are watching.
It is just a matter of time. You won't be able to account for the number of months that ASU were on strike in some few years to come.
Really hope so.
Yeah. Yes, it is just the bitter reality. It is the way it is. Some of us were in school during the military days, and strike was actually the order of the day. I remembered our 100 level, we went for 6 months. We got back thinking there won't be any strike again. Immediately we finished the second semester exam, we went again for another 7 months. And it was like that up until we eventually graduated. Wow. Instead of spending 4.5 years for a 6-year or a 5-year course, we ended up spending 6 years plus in the university. So at the end of the day, everything will be fine. We are only hoping that the leadership of ASU and the FG will reason and allow sanity to actually prevail as much as possible. But don't be deterred. That is actually my message. Ensure you occupy yourself, as much as possible. I'm sure we're going to be talking today very well. For me, a lot of the things I eventually do today for Vanguard Pharmacy, I pick them up during some of those ASU strikes as an undergraduate in the university.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. So did you guys get that? Don't be deterred. Know what you want. Keep learning. Keep on learning. Keep relearning. It's going to keep you. It's going to get you going for a very, very long time and keep you on the right path. So don't lose determination. Just keep working hard. Thank you so much for that, sir. So we are going to have So our speaker for today now has introduced himself quite well and gave us a takeaway already. We shouldn't be deterred. So I would like to ask our speaker, do you have a slide presentation for us?
No, I don't. I am actually here for the Q&A session as much as possible.
Right.
I'm more than ready to utilize the entire 90 minutes for me. Actually, I prefer when it is an interactive session. I prefer it from just because I'm sure quite a few of you might have listened to me speak elsewhere. So this opportunity is answer real life questions as much as possible.
Okay, sir. We really like that so much. Okay, so now that we are ready to dive into the Q&A section, so I would like to start with this.
Go on.
Community pharmacy is a big field in pharmacy. It's like a popular one that everyone wants to go into. There are people that just like maybe went for IT and they're like, I don't want to do community pharmacy, probably because they feel like there is money in it. You can be a boss. It's all about social entrepreneurship. You don't have to like answer to anybody. And from there, you actually get to meet people sometimes, good people that will actually help you and all of that. And also, some people want to go to community pharmacy because they feel like they want to contribute to community health because they're like pharmacies are like closest to like people these days. So what actually like motivated you to practice community pharmacy, to go into that field, to be a leading brand in Nigeria right now?
Thank you very much. And I think I will start by now telling you why I ventured into community practice. But from some of the things I picked from you while talking, I think it's important we address that issue. Community pharmacy is actually one of the easiest things for pharmacists, field for pharmacists to actually venture into. And you will soon find out that even when people have retired from working in the hospital or working with any organization, they end up coming back to settle in the community pharmacy practice. And that's why I'm saying that there are reasons why people should come in. Unfortunately, a lot of us actually come into community pharmacy for all the wrong reasons. And I'm saying some of the things you mentioned because they are looking for money. You remember you mentioned that. And for me, that's actually a wrong reason to go into the world of entrepreneurship. Because whether you like it or not, community pharmacy is not just a practice, it also involves the entrepreneurial skill of the person behind it. Again, for some people, it's because they don't want to answer to any boss. They want to be their own boss. And that's, again, another wrong reason to want to go into community practice. Because you will soon find out that you might be better off earning salaries than actually running that business. That is called community pharmacy as much as possible. And this is true for practically all professions. I have doctors, medical physicians that owns and runs their own clinic, and quite a lot of them have actually given advice. It's better they actually exit and take up employment opportunities where they can earn salaries, go on leave, and actually enjoy themselves and have a life of their own. So coming back to myself, for me, I am not new into the retail business. I I ventured to study pharmacy and not medicine because of my love for retail and the fact that I found out that pharmacy would push me into that avenue to be able to actually practice something that looks like inborn, and I've also not just inherited, but also seen from close range that my parents and my immediate brother has actually ventured into, and they've done successfully well. Beyond that too, I'm also fortunate to marry into a retail background. My wife is actually from a retail family. The dad and the mom are actually retailers, obviously not pharmacy related business, but the concept is similar. So the two of us had that clear push to wanted to go in and try and do something different with the pharmacy that I have actually studied. And that was one primary reason why we were so committed into going into a community pharmacy practice. So even at that, when we ventured into it, I didn't know that the exposure and the knowledge I thought I had wouldn't be enough to actually take the business to the kind of level we are in today. So you will have also noticed in my citation that over the years of transition to go learn about business, I had my MBA. I've gone to Lagos Business School to also learn more about how to run and manage big business. And the most recent one is the entire team of Vanguard Pharmacy going to Stanford University for 18 months to also learn about how to actually ensure we create a very, very strong brand out of the community pharmacy brand. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of people, especially not just pharmacists alone, pharmacists and non-pharmacists don't appreciate what community pharmacy is all about. You know, it's easier when you go out of the country and you are looking like a Boots pharmacy, for example, in the UK, with over 1,000 branches. You might tell me those are advanced countries. If you go to India, you will see MedPlus in India with over 1,000 branches and in billions of naira or in dollars in revenue. So that's how huge that the community pharmacy space can be. Unfortunately, or unfortunately for the pharmacist, 70% of pharmacists worldwide actually practice at the community pharmacy level. So the question is, like I tell people today, if you want to venture into community pharmacy, please, you need to come in and learn how to do it well so that we can create a very strong brand that will improve and impact the image of pharmacy across the country. If you notice during COVID-19 crisis in the US government had to meet with community pharmacy CEOs. Why? Because they wanted to use their readily available spread and resources all across the length and breadth of the United States of America to push vaccination across to the people. And that was exactly what happened. So give and take. That's going to be my response to that. Let me hope that that response will bring more questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the answer. So from your answer, I could get that you have passion for retailing, for just like you put it, give and take. And like you said, most people go into community pharmacy for the wrong reason, probably because they make money, but they don't actually even know if they actually really want to do it. So now for a community pharmacy or for someone that has interest in community pharmacy, as to say, you have to like find them. What's the difference you want to make to the practice?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
You want to impact the practice.
Yeah.
So nice. So guys, find your passion and look for how to add value to it, generate value from it, and impact the profession positively. Don't just go in there because you want to make money, but you don't know how to do it. So find your passion. So for our pharmacist and our speaker for today, the reason why he went into retailing today is to find your passion. Because from this your answer, there was this conference I attended like 2 weeks ago It was with pharmacist Pioku, the owner of Barrage. He actually had the same answer for what you said. He said he has always loved the industry. He got many job offers. He didn't go. He actually waited till he was able to run his own business. Thank you very much, sir, for that question. Like now, Vanguard Pharmacy is like a big successful cult pharmacy in Nigeria. It is a leading brand in Nigeria. So now, as you know, in Nigeria setting, we have these patent medicine vendors, popularly known as chemists. We have them. They are like, how will I say? We should say they have a very strong hold on distribution of medicine in Nigeria, as to say. There was only this time I had CN submitted a bill to House of Assembly, and the bill got missing regarding how PCN should take control of patent medicine vendors and all of that. Then we now have patient care in community pharmacy. How well do you think patient care is being handled in community pharmacy? Because
if I heard you correctly, there were two issues you mentioned, and I need to correct the first impression. The first impression is that patent medicine dealers and chemists have strong hold of medicine. They don't have strong hold at all. It's an assumption that all their access to medicine today in Nigeria is facilitated because pharmacists actually make medications available to them. So the stronghold and the control of medication is actually in the hands of pharmacists, even as we speak today. There is no drug that enters the country that does not have a pharmacist signature attached to it one way or the other. So you can say that some professionals are selling us on agree, but that it's in their stronghold, it's not. It's in our fold. You remember all manufacturing companies in the country today have pharmacists, not just on their board, but also actively working in them. So I think that impression needs to be corrected. Yes, because the drug distribution channel is not properly guided, or because there are no repercussions for people that does the wrong thing, is the reason why medications still find their way into all of these places. And the pharmacy regulation you spoke about has been approved. I think it's been approved now in almost 2 months. And at the recently concluded national conference in Jos, it was still a huge talking point. So the law has always been there. The laws has always been there. Whether we would ensure that the letters of the law is executed is another different ballgame. But again, what the new law has done now is to give us even more control as much as possible. But let us hope that we will be able to put it out there and make it up. Then your second thing is patient care. Patient care and community pharmacy, I would say they are supposed to be 5 and 6. For football lovers, will easily understand what that means. When I say 5 and 6, I can also use the word for non-football lovers to say they should be Siamese twins, because you cannot do well in community practice if you don't structure your business around patient care, pharmaceutical care, and all of that. And so for me, it doesn't even have so much debate. But what we are saying is, beyond understanding patient care, for you to also be able to excel in the community pharmacy, you must also understand that, yes, it's a practice. Yes, you want to do patient care, but you can't do patient care for free. You must do patient care. Excuse me, you must do patient care to ensure that you make a profit out of it at the end of the day. Like one of my consultants would say, are the numbers adding up? Because if the numbers are not adding up, the pharmacist will become fed up of the patient care, and eventually the patient will end up running away. But if the numbers are adding up, you are doing your bit, you are getting remunerated, you will continue to be motivated, and you also want to do more and learn more. And even not just stop there, you introduce newer services that can make your patient life happier and better. So yes, patient care is part and parcel of what we do at the community pharmacy level. And it should be a mainstay for any community pharmacy that wants to remain as a leader out there.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So, guys, as you are planning out to run your community pharmacy, you should not forget the most important reason why you are here, that is patient care. And also ensure you do your patient care to get rewarded, to get remunerated. Are the numbers adding up? You should never forget that. So, that's true about the patient medicine vendor. I had the bill was passed like 2 months ago. I'm also very, very, very happy about it because the way they actually extort and run things is not something to be proud of. And it's also very sad that it's people of our profession that are like abetting all these their acts.
Yeah.
Like now, Vanguard Pharmacy is a big, successful community pharmacy and a leading brand. We have like the pharmacy won most improved pharmaceutical retail outlet at the Nigerian Healthcare Excellence Award in June 2021. It has over 300 employees. It has 8 branches in Nigeria. So I only want to ask, how have you been able to do this? How were you able to achieve this?
Okay. I think it's just simple, and it's to say that as much as possible, it's something that started from the baby steps. So we started from the baby steps, and every day we keep improving at what we are doing. But beyond that, I would say that the Vanguard Pharmacy story is a story that started from the very, very humble beginning, just like everyone. When we started, we had more shelves than drugs. We started in a small space, 30 square meter space, the minimum required by law to practice in the community as at then. But from day one, we knew what we wanted. We had a clear-cut vision, and we had a clear-cut mission statement, and our core values were very clear to us. We knew where we are going, but just like we also know that we needed to start very, very humble, and that was exactly what we did. So at every stage of our development, we kept on asking ourselves, what is next? What is next? So in the process of asking those questions, we'll find out that, oh, there seems to be a gap. We need to go for some trainings. That was what led us into go and take MBA, Masters in Business Administration. Asking further questions again was what sent us to Lagos Business School to go and do OMP, Owner Manager Program. And the same asking what is next and what is next was what led us into going to go and study budget and budgetary controls, as well as even the Stanford management program we went for as a business. Please don't forget that I am only highlighting some. On the ground, we kept on improving our clinical skills as professionals. That is who we are as a pharmacist. So we kept on improving all of that. But beyond all of that, we were asking ourselves, how can we create something different? How can we ensure that everybody in our team, from our intern to our full-time pharmacists to our veterinary doctors, and everybody that works in the back end can go on annual leave, just like the way some of us experienced this working in the multinational level. So these were the questions that we kept on asking ourselves. And as we ask those questions, we try as much as possible to provide answers and solutions to it. And so from the 30 square meter space, we moved into a 180 square meter space. From there, we graduated into about 700 square meter space. And so it was a baby step that we kept on taking every day until we are where we are today. But I also need to correct the notion. You kept on saying Vanguard Pharmacy is big and successful. That's not how we see ourselves. We don't actually see ourselves as a successful business as of today. We don't actually also see ourselves as a big business as of today, because the people we are benchmarking ourselves with, a lot of those companies are not even out in Nigeria. I gave you some examples when we started, the Boots in the UK, the MedPlus in India, and the Walmart and the CVS in the US. So we kept on benchmarking our revenue, and not just our revenue, our services, the way we treat our people can be considered as international standards as much as possible. So I hope I'm able to respond to that. Let me see if you'll be able to drag me further into that question.
Yes, your answer really was something intriguing. What next? And raise your benchmark, because the people you compare yourself with are something that will give you motivation to do more and achieve more. I took note of how you mentioned Walmart, you mentioned Boost in the UK and MedPlus in India. So I'm actually very surprised to realize that MedPlus has 1,000 branches in India. I only thought it's like a Nigerian-based branch. So that's something I have actually learned from here. And baby steps. So it's how you start from 30 square meter space to 180 square meter space to over 700 square meter space. It's actually like a growth and an achievement. You also mentioned something of how you to improve your clinical practice to actually like highlight or to show that this is who we are. We are pharmacists. We are not just running a business over here. So I would like to ask, how did
Sorry,
you...
before you go on, I think I need to correct one impression. The MedPlus India is not the same thing as the MedPlus we have in Nigeria. They are owned by two different people. So I just needed to correct that. There are two different, MedPlus Nigeria Limited or something is different from, the owners are different.
The owners are different. Like, okay, that's the question I'm actually very like, wait, is that no, won't there be conflict of trade name, or are they affiliated in one way or the other?
No, I don't, they are not affiliated, and there can't be conflict of trade name unless one wants to go and operate in the other country. Every country of the world have different regulations. For example, if I want to go into the US, for example, the first thing they will check is if nobody uses the name Vanguard Pharmacy in the US. You understand? Before they can allow me to replicate it. If there is a company like that, then I will have to vary my own the Vanguard name. You understand? You now keep it as a subset of the Vanguard Pharmacy Nigeria. So there are ways to actually handle that. But different countries of the world actually registered their name. So for some big multinationals, they ensure that they register that name across different regions of the world so that you can't go and use their name elsewhere.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So as I was asking, the clinical practice, raising the clinical practice in community pharmacy, you said how you always ensure that you raise the clinical practice in Vanguard Pharmacy to ensure that the difference is still made. Like, how do you do so? I know most community pharmacy, they have weight checking scale, they have this BP machine, they have glucometer, they have a lot of those. But what are the things you do that makes it different?
So, as we speak today, you can walk into any of our stores, and I can guarantee you that you'll be able to take as much as 15 to 20 different tests.
Wow.
From HIV to hepatitis B, hepatitis D to everything. So for us, it's because we always know that if we want to scale and grow, it can't be about ourselves. We're always looking for partners. So we had a partnership with a company called Life Clinic since 2013. And Life Clinic is a company registered in Nigeria, but with affiliates in the US. And their major strength is to keep doing point of care testing at the level of not just the pharmacy, but wherever they find themselves. We went into a partnership since 2013. And since then, we've actually continuously improved on their, in fact, we've pushed them to continuously improve on their offerings. So that's one way for us. And there are other ways too. Our in-house pharmacists and interns are pushed to take some special studies, some specialized studies as much as possible in different areas. And they come back and make sure that they bring it to the work environment as much as possible. So essentially, it's because we have a well-structured business. There are different organograms. We have the pharmacists. The pharmacists have a senior pharmacist who manages them as head of pharmacy business. And the head of pharmacy business is report directly to the executive director and the CEO. So we are already, in fact, for 2023 already, we're already in a discussion into What new things we must bring on board to continue to differentiate and improve our business. So it's because we are trying to benchmark and run the environment as a standard organization as much as possible. And that's why young pharmacists want to work with us. They want to do their internship with us. We have people that are rejected working in teaching hospitals in this country because they just want to come work with Vanguard Pharmacy. So the experience is awesome. And at the end of the day, they end up having a lot of value for themselves. For those that really wants to learn anyway.
Yes, very, very essential for those that really want to learn. Who just want to rely on their BSc, BPharm degree knowledge they have from school and not willing to improve on their knowledge. So guys, I hope you're all taking notes, and Sam, me too. I would like to improve on myself. So it's definitely very essential to go to a place that would improve your value. And as a company, as an organization, it's good to be well structured. I like how we have the senior pharmacist, we have the executive director, the manager, and all. It's always very, very intriguing. So okay, so Kalista, you raised up your hand. Kalista. Okay.
Yes, I have a question to ask.
Well, can you keep your question for now? We would
Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem.
Please, Kalista, don't worry. Keep your question. I'm very much available for you guys. I canceled all my schedule on my desk because of all of you. I value the young pharmacists a lot.
Okay.
They form the bedrock of our organization, and they continuously push me as a CEO to continue to improve too as a person.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So can you mute yourself now, Kalista, and put down your hand, please? Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for creating time for us, for valuing us and willing to put us through. So you said you may have made partnership with Life Care Clinic. That's how you have been able to improve in your test that is carried out in Vanguard Pharmacy. So which actually leads me to another question. Starting up a community pharmacy is not easy. It is not an easy feat to get money, to get a location. So for people for them to start practice, they will get loans from savings, and just like you said now, partnership. So which option would you advise for a person to go for an up and coming person, someone from an humble background, no money anywhere, just I really want to do community pharmacy. So I'm now thinking, should I start saving? Should I take out a bank loan? Should I seek out partnerships? How should a person like that start?
So my advice to the young pharmacist is always simple. Every business entrepreneur that operates at that level of inexperience or that are not matured enough to raise capital should learn to start very, very soon. And I'll quickly give them you guys a lot of examples. If you look around today, the big businesses that we all admire, and I'm starting with, I know a lot of you uses iPhone. Apple as a company started very, very small in a Steve Jobs garage, not the kind of Apple that we all see and admire today. You can go on and on and on for a lot of businesses. Give me any big business that you can air off today, will tell you how humble they started. But again, for those in IT world and in some other fast-growing fields, business that can scale so fast, they can also go into crowdfunding or go into seed capital, Series A, Series B, Series C funding capitals. Those ones also are big. But it is not all businesses that qualifies to be able to raise money at that level. And so the easiest advice we tell entrepreneurs is start very, very small, no matter how humble you start. What is most important is not where you have started or where you intend to get to in the future. But it's as simple as that. And this information I'm giving you, they are not my idea. There are things we have learned again, even in Stanford University. If a lot of you are familiar with Stanford University, I don't know, but that's about the top 2 universities we have in the world. And so these are the same things they will tell you in those places. You only need to believe in yourself and be willing to come to the table with your passion. And as you drive your passion, you must learn to bottle that passion as much as possible. So for me, capital is not always the problem of entrepreneur, and capital has never been the problem to entrepreneurs. Capital will begin to be your problem when your business is getting to high scale level. For example, now, I can complain about capital today. I won't even complain about capital. But I imagine someone that wants to start a business. Have you even tested the idea? Do you even believe that if you run with 500,000, you can come back with a profit on that idea that you have? But that's exactly what people don't like to hear. So they look for loan. And what the way one of my mentor, what's his name now? Maduka is the founder of Oscaris Motors. For one or two of you that have heard about Maduka's story in the past, Maduka left school in primary 3. And today is one of the richest men we have in Nigeria, from Unewi. I will tell you that you have, if you want to send a 1-year-old to go across the highway, the chances of that 1-year-old to go and come back is going to be very, very slim. Unlike when you want to say send an adult to go and cross the highway. So when your business is small, you want to start and you are looking for capital, it's like you are treating your business, the 1-year-old, you want that boy or girl to go and cross the highway. The chances that you are going to come back successful is going to be very, very slim. And that's why we always say that leave capital first. What idea do you have? Yes, if you want to do something like that and you've been nursing the idea for some few years, we will expect you to have some savings. How much do you have in your savings account? And if you want to start your community pharmacy today, nobody is expecting you to come and begin to compete with Vanguard Pharmacy. No. When we started, we didn't compete with the big boys in the profession like we're doing today. In fact, some of us went to the outskirts of town. For those that are familiar with Ibadan, where I'm talking to you now is our head office. It used to, in fact, they used to refer to us those days as we are at the outskirts of town. Today, like I always tell my team, Vanguard head office will forever remain in Monoton, Iyano Church, Ibadan, even if we have businesses outside of Nigeria. Why? Because we've read that the likes of Walmart in the US, the likes of Amazon, if you go and check there, their headquarters remain in that small town or villages where they have found that better those ideas. So for the young ones, please forget capital. Do you have a passion for what you want to do? Do you want to understudy anybody? While understudying that person, are you keeping some little savings? And when you're going to start, go and start from the very, very humble beginning. Yes, it's also good, even if you have a high access to inheritance, or your parents are whether they can bring out about millions. Like I did advise one young pharmacist that came to me recently. I said, keep the money of your parents first. Go and test the waters. If you can make a success running the business with 500,000, and you can grow that 500,000 to become 1 million, to become 2 million in some few years, you will be bold enough to go back and collect 50 million, and it will tell you can turn 50 million into 1 billion in another few years. But without testing waters, without even understanding what you're going to do out there, it's foolhardy for people to keep laying claim to capital as their problem. Capital is not and can never be an impediment for entrepreneurs.
So thank you very much, sir. So know what you want, get your idea. Then for you that have the idea, naturally, as someone that wants to achieve something, you will start some savings or try plan a way you could get financial investment for your business to be okay. I feel like that's like the answer to the question that you provided. Also, start small. just like you said in the first answer, baby steps. It will take you a long way. But then, okay, I have agreed to start small. I'm already starting small.
Yeah.
But how do we not stay small? How do
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, how not to stay small is very simple. And you have started small. Let's bring up. I do mentor a lot of young people. And I have a lot of them that regularly come for review with me almost every month. This month, I think I've had 1 or 2 sessions, and I'll still have more before the month closes. So my idea is always very simple. So once you tested the waters, it is that you are now confident to say that you can see your profitability, you can see how you've been able to impact your balance sheet. It can now give you confidence to say, I have run this business for the past 1 year. I started the business with 500,000. At the end of the year, I was able to come with a profit of 40%, 30%, this percent. There has to be clarity. So you will not come to me and just tell me you need money. Even if I'm your father, I won't give you. Even if I'm your husband, I won't give you. But if you come back to me and tell me that, do you know that the business I started with 500,000, we found out that at the end of the year, we're able to declare a profit of 250,000 in 1 year. And there seems to be a lot more opportunities. We could have, even if they have had access to this ABC, we could have delivered 1, 2, 3, 4. And you speak clearly, then you will even find out that your parents, your siblings, will begin to look for a way to gather money for you. And it's as simple as that. Then if you are not fortunate to have parents or siblings that have financial resources, don't bother. Begin to list the 5 top friends that you have in your network who are working in good places, and you tell them you want to have a business briefing with them. And when you are going for that business briefing, please go with art paper, evidences. And you know, where a lot of the young people goes wrong again is, I was mentoring one, and the person was telling me that he doesn't carry his money through the financial institution. I said, so how do I want to believe you? If you tell me your turnover for the month is 1 million naira, how do I know your turnover is really 1 million naira? If you cannot prove it with a bank statement that shows that my bank statement shows that I have moved 1 million naira in that account within that 1 month. So all of those institutions, because the person that wants to grow their business and make it big will have a different attitude to the person that is just looking for money to feed himself or his family. So if you ask me today, we started Vanguard Pharmacist 16 years ago. We are going to be 16 in another few days. You know what happened? I can go into the office and bring from our archives audited report from year 1 to year 15. Audited financial report. Year 1, when we were so small in that 30 square meter space, we audited our account. And we show people that, see, this is our financial report. So just imagine, Alima, that you are my very good friend in pharmacy school. You are fortunate after graduating, you got a job in Shell. And in Shell those days for pharmacy, they used to earn 250,000 when some of us in rep job were earning 30,000 naira. And so I will walk up to you and say, Halima, do you know what? I've done this business and these are my financial reports. And by the time you look at it, you are probably saving your money in the bank. And because we were in school together, you have a bit of a trust for me. Do you think you would part away? You would initially want to test the water. Okay, Taofik, I don't have so much money. But let me give you 50,000 naira to see what you will do. By the time I collect that 50,000 naira, I go to run with it. I come back again to you after 3 months. I say, Halima, see the result. We can do more if we have access to money. What do you think we will do? Please be sincere.
I would definitely invest more because I can see it. Tons.
And that's exactly the way I mentor the young ones. It doesn't matter whether your parents have money, whether you are born into a rich family or a poor family. For as long as you have the entrepreneurial spirit, you must learn to do it the right way and the only way. And there are standard ways of running businesses in the world. You can't mix it, whether it's in Nigeria, Europe, it's the same way. So we are saying that I still see a lot of people today, my generation, that still run their company, they run their company revenue through their personal accounts. How would they have access to funds? Who would trust them that truly what they claim to be doing is what they're actually doing? If I show you our tax clearance certificate in Vanguard Pharmacy, you will find out that our tax clearance certificate matches the turnover that we have declared as an organization, whether you are comparing with our financial report or you are comparing with our audited, with our bank statement. So you can see that by the time I share such document, I'm telling you today, I'm not looking for small money. Vanguard is not looking for small money. I'm looking, if I have the opportunity of meeting Dangote today and asking Dangote that I need him to just invest, say, 5 billion naira in Vanguard Pharmacy. These are the kind of documentation that Dangote will need. I won't even wait for him to ask. I will furnish him ahead with those documentation. So when they are doing very, they are checking your tax to be sure it's not fake. They are confirming from your bank, your turnover. They are seeing your financial report submitted, everything just aligned. And the only thing that will happen is that people will trust you and they want to give you money to run and grow your business. And that's the only way businesses actually grows. Whether you are running a private hospital, you want to grow it, whether you are running a community pharmacy outlet, whether you're running any form of a business, it's one language. Every business language, every business must be reduced to the financial language at the end of the year, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, or half year. So that's the kind of attitude the young ones that truly wants to grow and develop should have as much as possible. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir, we're there, sir.
Yes, sir, I am. So if you want to build your company, you don't want to stay small, build your integrity. And by building your integrity, you audit. You go to all the necessary financial institutions you're supposed to. You learn to do it right. You get clarity and you keep data of your business. That way, you get more people to invest in you. You get more people to believe you're actually capable of achieving what you claim you want to achieve. So, guys, hope you guys are learning, because I actually feel like I've learned a lot today. And also, I would like to emphasize the importance to audit your business and also yourself. What is this you want to achieve for yourself? Have you achieved it? How do you want to achieve it? What was the thing that held you back or stopped you from achieving it? And also, do not combine your personal business with your financial business. That way, nobody would actually trust you, because it looks like a fraudulent act, someone down to scam them when you are and also you will not even get clarity on your finances, because sometimes when you remove bank charges, all these things, you will get lost. It will be stressful for you to reduce your stress. Start small, but don't stay small. Scale up by building your integrity, by auditing, by doing it right, and keep your data. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sir. Sir, you actually have a lot of experience which you garnered from working in at least two sectors, the community pharmacy, and we have the business aspects too. You have a master's in business administration, and you worked in May and Baker. Sir, what has been the impact of your advanced learning as well as experiences in other sectors? What has been the impact of the advanced learning you learned so far? Because from your first question, or from first answer, you said how you actually try to build Vanguard Pharmacy by going for different courses, Lagos Business School, Stanford University. What has been the impact of all this advanced learning and experiences.
Thank you very much. I think those learnings have actually impacted us greatly. And the primary thing those classes will do for anyone is that it actually helps to reshape your mindset. I remember when we started the business, we weren't different from the popular general way that pharmacists think. But haven't gone out to pick the right learnings. They've been able to help us reshape our mindsets. We know how to deal with people more because the employee is actually the most important asset of the business. Those are the people that work in the business. Beyond that, too, this training exposes us to the fact that we need to create standards and processes in our various businesses. And that's why today I can be talking to you while all the 8 locations of Vanguard Pharmacy are up and running, and they will run like that from 8 in the morning till 9 p.m. at night. And we do this every day across all our locations as much as possible. Across all our locations as much as possible. So it's really been helpful, and I will recommend that anybody that's aspiring, not just in community practice, but in any field that you have chosen to be, the first thing you should ask yourself is write down what are those things that will impact you all the way based on the vision that you have crafted for yourself. And once you have succeeded in doing that, it's actually easier to begin to challenge yourself to follow through, because these business schools that we have mentioned are not cheap. They are not cheap. So if you truly are not actually determined to be accountable, not just to yourself, but to your entire team, then it will be difficult for you all to actually go through it as much as. So for us in Vanguard today, the training is not just about myself or my co-founder, it's about the entire team. A few days ago, last week, Thursday precisely, then about 40-something of us, about 45 of us on the Vanguard team were still locked down in one hotel in Ibadan from morning to night just to learn and prepare for the end of the year activities. So learning should be a continuous thing. The will, strong will to want to continue to learn and make sure you don't relent, because that's what will continue to also make your business to challenge your business to continue to grow and scale is also important. So for us, we want to become a national and a West African retail brand by 2030. And that's actually a tough one. And that's why I was saying to you that we don't see ourselves as a successful brand. We don't see ourselves as a big brand. In fact, we convert our revenue to dollars just to humble ourselves as much as possible. Because when you are looking at it in Naira at times, you look as if you are a big boy. The bankers will be running after you. But when the moment you divide by the official rate of the Naira, you humble yourself a little bit. And if you want to further humble yourself, just look at the black market rate and divide your revenue, and you will see you will humble yourself. And you have, in our network, we have friends in Ghana that we met on the Stanford program across West Africa. Across Africa, Ghana, Kenya, the south of Africa. And by the time we compare notes, you humble yourself a little, because we are trying to talk in dollars as much as well. But overall is that these lessons and the exposure have actually helped and impacted us positively. And for me, it's one of the things I used to challenge any young person that comes to me. There is a regular training we hold for business owners in Lagos, Ibadan, and for those that can join online virtually too, on a monthly basis. It's called Farm Alliance. We've been running Farm Alliance. Shina Okpanobi started running Farm Alliance, I think 2012, and I picked up that class in Ibadan since December 2015, and it has been a month thing. So just to keep challenging people to that, learning is continuous, and we have to continue to improve and impact in whatever that we do as much as possible.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So it's also so now what I've learned is these lessons has helped to shape your mindset, to expand you, to make you realize that everything is actually small until you make it and you keep making it and all. Thank you so much. And also you said you organized Farm Alliance, a monthly program that helps to educate people So I would like to ask, is it open to pan sites too or young pharmacists?
No. It's strictly for community pharmacists.
Community
Yeah,
pharmacists.
it's strictly for community pharmacists.
Okay. Participants, please try to prepare your questions, jot them down, keep them in your notepad. It's soon be time for you guys to ask your questions. Okay. Sir, just like you mentioned, said your wife is your co-founder, and she came from a retail family, so she's already enlightened about the world of business and how to run it. You know, like as a social construct now, men are like allowed to get married whenever they want to, or at least they're allowed to get married as late as the society would allow it. There are females, not so often. We have some of our parents, they know that by 23 years old, you're out of this place. So, like that's like a social construct, really. What is your take on this matter? And also, we also have couples that run businesses together. Some get into problems with each other because of financial rulings in the house, in the business, and all of that. While some they are still amicable, but they are like learning and eager to learn how more they can like improve themselves. So, what is your advice for couples that are running a business together or are about to run a business together? And also, what is your take? Because in this life, you have to plan your marital life and your career life. So, what is your take on is it getting married? No, we have a lot of people that their career has been put to a full stop because just have to get married. I know.
Thank you very much. Well, my school of thought when it comes to marriage is interesting, and I'll share it with you guys. I hope some people will agree with me, and some people would not agree with me. But that's why I said it's my school of thought, and it's been shaped by past experiences too. You said there is a social construct that put pressure on the female. In my own family that I came from, the pressure is not just on the female. The pressure is actually on both the male and female. In fact, my mom died 2020, and we were still gisting in my house yesterday that if my mom is still alive, some of our family-related friends with their kids will have almost been married by now, because she has a way of ensuring that she not just tell you to go and marry, she preach to you the beauty and the benefits of why you should go and marry as much as possible. And interestingly, that's the school of thought I believe in. Marriage should not and doesn't have anything to do with our achievement in the real world. We are just unfortunate that we are from this part of the world where poverty is actually the real issue, why people run away from marriage. If we're to be from Europe or America, by the time you are 18 years, you are out of your parents' home, whether male or female. And most of them, check the footballers, they are 21, 22, they already have 1, 2, 3 kids. So the question is, who is disciplining? It's poverty that's actually telling the boys, they cannot marry, they have to wait until they make it 30, 35. But the reality is that if the situation with the country becomes better and younger ones can become successful much faster, people, why not marry when you are ready to marry? The most important thing is that you're ready for marriage. One thing I don't subscribe to is forcing anybody to marry. But if you think you are ready and you can take responsibility for what comes with marriage, please go and marry. And if you marry your friend, it shouldn't stop you from actualizing your dreams in the real world. And I got married to my wife when she was young. I also married quite young, relatively young. It's relative. I got married before the age of 30, and I married my wife when she was in her early, middle 20s. So you can try and fix a figure to that. And I remembered when I was pushing that, and when people were looking at me, you want to go and marry? I said, what should I go? But today, the story is good. We have a clear part of what we wanted. We had some discussions and all of that. And today we are both better off for it. And even our extended families are better off for that decision that we took 17 years ago. And it was a year after marriage that we started Vanguard Farms. So marriage, it doesn't have anything to do if there are discussions and there are alliances with us. So that leads me to your next question. Your next question talks about challenges that married people have, especially when they have to run business together and all of that. And the answer is also simple. As much as possible, it is because there were not discussions prior. And again, they don't also structure their businesses very, very well. So if you structure the business very, very well, for example, in Vanguard Pharmacy, all of us earn our salaries. By the end of the month, the executive director is paid, the CEO is paid, just like every other 300 staff we have in the business. So if I receive my salary, it's my responsibility to still take care of my own. From my salary, I sort out my responsibilities at home. I won't ask my wife to bring her money because she worked. And just imagine she's not working in Bangladesh, she's working elsewhere. Will I ask her for her money? So some of this clarity, because the problem is when husband and wife work together, a lot of them are working in an unstructured setting. And so nobody can even say, this is my money or that is my money. So even as a man, I cannot just come into the business and take money anyhow. It's not done because the business is structured. So it doesn't mean at the end of a particular period, we do profit sharing and all of that. Even when we share profit, everybody goes home with their share. So there is clarity, and that's for me the issue that I've seen when they say couples, friends, partnership and all of that are working together and they have a lot of issues. They only need to be well educated in how to run a business. And when we say how to run a business, it's standard and the only way. And once that is sorted, there will be little or no friction. You know, the other level is beyond money, it's also that a company organogram. Who is supposed to do what? So in the business now, I have got my own job description that clearly says, as CEO, these are the things I'm responsible to. As ED, what she's responsible for and who she reports to, she reports directly to me. So we have a lot of other line managers that report to her. Some line managers report to me. So once those things are well structured and the line is clear, there will be little or no issues. I'm not saying the marriage is perfect or relationship is perfect. There is nothing like that in the real world for anybody. If you go to any marriage counseling environment, that's always the rule. But again, some things create that friction, and those things, if well sorted and discussed, will limit the friction that will come, and every other thing can easily be well sorted out as much as possible. I hope, of course, we are also planning on writing a book. We have not started, but the whole idea or the concept that will be in that book is already with us. And I hope that when that book is finally out, people like you will pick the book and you'll be able to actually read. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would definitely read because I'm kind of person that is only someone that is this. I'm not okay. I feel like we are in the modern world. Things are changing. We are getting civilized. But I'm always like, if I should do this, if I don't know how to do this thing, my parents or my father will not tell me that. Oh, don't do it. For example, now we have some people that they want to travel abroad for maybe advancements in their career or studies, but they are not married, then their parents will be like, oh, Leila, you can't go. No, do you even know? You don't even know if you can come back. Maybe when everywhere is good for you, then you don't want to come back, you want to stay. Do you even know you can find a Nigerian partner over there? We have a lot of those issues. So I would definitely like to read it. And also, they should have a properly structured business. Yeah. They should know what he or she does. And they should not try to put personal relationship into the business. Business is purely business. Wow, thank you so much. That was really, really like insightful. Because I know of a community pharmacy. Okay, there are community pharmacies where maybe they are both pharmacists or one of them is a pharmacist. Maybe they use one of them's license to register for the business. Then one of them is one that runs the business. Maybe another person is working somewhere else, but they are both like running the business together. So I know some of them have issues because they'll be like, it's not allowing me to say what I want to say. She's not allowing me to do what I want to do because we run a business together. They often get into arguments because of that, really. And it's kind of stressful and tiring to witness all those experiences. It's very, very tiring. So guys, are you ready for marriage? If you are ready for marriage, can you take responsibility for it? Because those are the questions you should ask yourself. You and your partner, can you both take responsibility for getting married? If you want to get married as a student, You can, but what about your partner? Can you guys take care of yourself? Abdulkadir says he's ready to get married. Abdulkadir. Hello, Abdulkadir.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, you say you are ready to get married. So
Yes.
now, do you have what it takes to get married?
Like what?
You don't know what a marriage takes, and you say you
I,
want to get married.
I wish.
You wish
And I want.
and you want.
Yes.
Do you have means to achieve this? Do you have
Don't
what
worry.
it takes to be a
I'm
married?
working on it. I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Definitely, you're not ready yet. So when you're done
You
working
can't
on it,
finish working on some things. You work on
okay.
it along the way. Everything will balance now.
Don't
So
wait.
so far I have what it takes to start. So along the way, everything will start balance.
Everything will start balancing. Can you take responsibility for your marriage?
Start
By God's
small.
grace.
If Abdulkadir is willing to start small, and that's not a crime. All of us started small in our marriages too. So let's go if you are ready.
Send us invitations at the country. We would like to attend.
No problem.
Okay. I hope you guys questions. And I hope you're all enjoying the fireside chats, because me, I am. My brain is already doing 1 or 2 calculations on how to, run my life, run away around things and all of that. So you mentioned earlier that you have a mentor.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a lot of them, not one, not two.
A lot of mentors.
Yeah.
Can you guys say that? Because I feel like anytime we attend a conference, a seminar, one of the things they always highlight is the fact that there is a need for a mentor. You need to have a mentor, you need to have a role model, you need to have 1 or 2 things that actually, 1 or 2 or who that actually impacts your life or influence your life, both career and on personal level. So who are these? Because you said there are a lot. Do you have a role model first of all?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I've got role models, I've got mentors.
Okay. Because the situation between these.
And it didn't start today. We always have. Okay. So remember, I think what I'll just say is that it's your responsibility to determine who your mentor is. The same way I don't accept everybody that wants me to mentor them. The same way I was told a long time ago that, hell no, you need to have a reason for wanting to choose person A or person B. And it's just the reality of life. Take responsibility for it.
Okay, so you should take responsibility for your mentor. Who do you want as your mentor? So what are the qualities you look at for in mentors and role models?
Please don't read any textbook. It's a function of what do you want for yourself. For example, when we wanted to start building the kind of business, pharmacy that interests us, before then, what we were used to and what was common is pharmacies where the owners are the ones sitting, collecting money from morning till night. They can't go on leave, they can't do this, they can't do that. Some of us kept asking ourselves, yes, that was what we were doing. But we kept asking, this is not the kind of thing we want to do. So because we were querying the status quo, we kept on asking, who are those other people doing it differently? And in the process, we started with the initial was first picking foreign books before we now begin to stumble on some 1 or 2 people that were doing the kind of thing that we wanted in Nigeria. And so naturally you gravitate towards them. So, and you can be my mentor in this area, and I also have another mentor me in another area. I can have a mentor for my spiritual life. I have another mentor for business life. Even in business, business is very huge. Financial independence, you begin to pick, and you do a lot of research to come up with all of that as much as possible. So we must be willing to take responsibilities for our actions and our inactions. Sorry, we can't hear you.
So unmute yourself, Alima.
Oh,
Unmute
sorry.
yourself.
Oh, sorry. I made a mistake in that part. So the key, guys, is to have a mentor or mentors that know what you want. What do you want to learn in this mentor or mentors, role model or role models? You don't have to copycat their life or live their life exactly the way they live. What do you want? How do you want to get it? Okay, this is what I want. Okay, I want to be very successful. I want to be a successful pharmacist. Okay, let me see. Vanguard Pharmacy is like my role model. So let me just see, how did they do it? What can I learn from them? How can I add to it and become a better person? So that's like the key to picking a mentor, a role model, guys. So guys, please start dropping your questions in the chat box. Start raising your hands because your questions will now be admitted anytime soon. Sir. Hello, sir.
Go on, I'm here.
So from our conversations, you're like a man of knowledge, a man of, a man of integrity. Sometimes at some point I got this impression of a very serious person. I'm like, he's very serious, he's very serious. Okay, I want to ask, what do you do to relax? What do you do to just rewind? Some of us we sleep and some of us listen to music or watch movies or go to parties and all of that. So what do you do to relax and rewind?
So let me start by saying that I was fortunate to marry my best friend. So the first thing is, and because we also married very early, all our kids are in the boarding house outside secondary school and some in secondary school as we speak. So it's very sweet now, just two of us in the house. So we have a lot of time to actually relax and unwind almost every day, every other day. Beyond that too, we do a lot of Netflix movie. Some of us are also football fans. Though the Arsenal fan in this room will be excited because they beat my team, Blue Black, over the weekend. Not in the scoreline, but in the way they actually played at Stamford Bridge. Of course, I'll be Jebu boy too. Every time I have invitations to go to party, I also attend parties too. And I like to travel. I go on holiday as much as possible. I go on Umrah. I go on holiday to Europe, to America, as situation warrants too. So overall, it's not a bad life. It's not a boring life. The reason why we have put standards and processes in the business is because we want to also have time for ourselves. And in the last 4 years now, some of us stopped working on weekends because we were always thinking in Vanguard Pharmacy around work-life balance. So I think since 2018 or late 2018, since 2018, some of us don't have to go to work again on weekends. And this was the business we started by working practically every day all year round in the past. Now we can't even go on leave and all of that. So we have a lot of time to relax, unwind, and also enjoy and relax with our families and friends too.
That's so wonderful. Speaking of growth, at some point you work day and night, but then now when you have grown, you're working on the right path, so you get to times like relax and take off on weekends too. So guys, no matter how serious you are, please just try to take a rest. It's very, very essential for your health. And also, when you watch movies, you will know, or when you read things that are happening on the net, you will know what's happening in life. And that way you can actually even connect to people that will actually impact your business, impact your life positively. So always try to relax that. So sir, running a community pharmacy is not an easy feat. What are the challenges we faced? Apart from the fact that we started small in a 30 square meter space, what are the challenges you faced?
So currently, I'll tell you that the challenges of today is actually the challenges of growth and scale. We want to continue to scale the business and we want to continue to grow. And when you also consider the fact that talent pool is a big issue in the country as we speak today, despite the fact that in Vanguard Pharmacy, one of the things that is driving us, we want to be one of the top places to work in the pharmaceutical retail space by the year 2024. So there are quite a lot of things we are doing, not just to retain our people, but to make sure that they also enjoy and have a feel of the environment as much as possible. And for me, the primary challenge that we are currently facing is actually that scale challenge. Yes, we want to scale, and our own businesses are not 30 square meter or small space. I don't know, some of you will have seen our locations in the past, or you can go to our Facebook, social media handles and just check out the kind of spaces that we have today. 750 square meter spaces, 800 square meter spaces, and they are just massive spaces. So all of that, and we want to keep replicating that. In the last 1 year, we've opened 3 branches, and that is directly on my desk as CEO. We are entering 2023 now. I have a mandate to deliver at least 4 branches for the business. The branches are capital intensive, and at the same time, we don't want customers to know that we are growing. We don't want any gaps to be seen on the shelves. Beyond that too, to train and retrain people to catch up with the growth has also been one of the greatest challenge for us. Like I will say, you notice that I have not mentioned capital, because indeed capital is not an issue. If we are ready today, all we need to do is to speak along with our financial institutions, and we'll be able to actually access funds based on our past performance and past history as much as possible. So money, people issue, and the fact that the reason why people issue is there because we are a fast growing organization. We need to add on people, quality people, as we scale and grow the business. And these are people that will believe in the mission, in the vision statement of what we do in Vanguard Pharmacy as much as possible, and run and work with it when they join us within the shortest possible time.
Okay, so one of
Halima, are you there?
Yes, I am there. Can you hear me now?
Halima?
Hello,
Okay.
sir. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, so the most important thing is know what you want, how you want to scale up, then upping the skills of your worker. You need quality people for another person to grow. You need quality people that will add value, not just people that will take from you, come to work just it's not my business, and they will go to their houses. So, and also capital is not a problem. Once you build an integrity for yourself, you have a past record that can say that this person, this organization will not betray us, will not fail us. So guys, keep that in mind. Get quality people, train them, keep upping their skills, and also keep an integrity for yourself, a reputation for yourself. Just like the Yoruba will say, Gidi also at Fadaka. So just have the Wura and Fadaka with it, but then keep a good name. It's also very, very, very essential. So guys, hope you are keeping our questions. Please start sending your questions in. So what do you foresee as the future of pharmacy? What do you foresee as the future of community practice? Yeah,
the future, well, personally, I still think that we still have a lot of gaps in the community pharmacy space in Nigeria. If you look at what happens, the way the European, the American markets, the North American market, the European markets, and the Asian markets are super developed, we'll soon find out that we still have a lot of gaps. In fact, if you, sorry, hello, Halima. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
I need to be interrupted for 5 minutes. I have a special guest in my office.
Oh.
A KBC, my father-in-law.
Oh God. All right. Okay, so while you take down week, Abdulkadir,
How are you? Thank you for setting this up. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure being here. You don't hear Halima, so must go marry your friend, do. Go marry your friend, do. All my friends now, they don't be marry me. Aisha, you there?
I'm here.
Me too, I
They
dey
no
look
gree.
for one friend wey I go marry. Oluwa, where is my friend? Bye.
She mo come dey marry herself like that.
Oh my God.
No. I'm looking
Aisha.
for my new.
Well done.
Welcome,
Ma, okay.
guys.
Hi,
Hi, Martina.
What do you say?
hi, Alima. Well done. That was a very, very interactive session. I'm totally enjoying every bit of it. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, guys, can you start sending questions? Me, I'm not seeing questions since, so you can start sending your questions, raise your hand. And what you guys learned so far, really? What have
Sorry,
you
I'm
learned?
back.
Okay.
It was, I did was see that August visitor in the month of November. My father-in-law walked in, and I didn't know, it's been around, I didn't know.
Wow.
You know, it's KBC of Odelemo.
I feel.
Before they come and arrest me and take me back to the palace or take my wife from me, I needed to go and prostrate.
It's very essential.
Okay, so how far, where are we?
So we are talking about how how will I say it? The challenges we face in the profession when in the community pharmacy, where you are made, you
Yes,
made us.
I think I responded to that.
Yes, you responded to that. So I was
Yeah.
just giving my feedback on that. So that was when you
Oh,
went
okay,
on
great.
that. Yes. All right. So like a lot of us now, since most of us now we are at home, some of us are in like 500 level already with at least sufficient or almost close to knowledge on how to like talk to patients, interact with patients. Some of us have done IT in the past in younger level and all of that. So some of us are just working, looking for a place that they'll just take us for the months and we shall get paid. So at least to account for our transport fare. So an experience is said to be the best teacher. Really, have you ever worked without getting paid? And why did you do it?
In fact, one of the things I did while in pharmacy school, in our generation, there was nothing like pharma IT. It was never in the curriculum. But to the interested to know that some of us, actually, I did IT in my 200 level, 300 level, and in 400 level. All those are subscribed. Despite the fact that we don't have to feel it. In fact, it was never there, it was aliens. Because that was what we wanted. And I remember working in Fontana Pharmacy in Djibouti. My Oga is still very much alive. A fellow today of the profession. And one of the things I did then is that I walked up to him and it was like, what do you want? 200 level student? You don't need, I said, I want to volunteer. And I learned a lot. I applied myself as if I was the highest paid in the environment. But all those learnings, they came in handy when we started running Vanguard Pharmacy. That was where we picked those clinical skills, the way you should respond to customers, the way you should handle them, the way you should treat all of those clinical skills and the full orientation. I don't know if you get, so not getting paid is not an issue if you work where you're appreciated for me. For me, I will even tell you that most of the time when you are highly paid in an environment, you might not actually be learning anything there. So where you will learn in real world, they might not be the highest paying environment. So I have had personal experiences, not once, not twice. Fortunately for me, by the time I was leaving Fontana, after staying that strike that year, sometime around 1997, he eventually gave me a gift. I think I can't remember whether 2,500 or 5,000. I can't remember. No, it can't be 5,000 because the whole allowing for a month, those days generation is maybe 500 naira or 750 that you come home and you take for a month. But you know, he gave me a gift, whether it's 500 or something, when I was going back to school after the result. So it's good. For me, what I tell the young ones is please look for where you are appreciated and where you can learn and they can impact your future. Young ones should bother less about money. And I'm not saying this because of who am I today. It was because that was the orientation I had and I benefited from that orientation. And that's the advice I would give 1 million times to any young ones today. whatever you learn, you will never know the value of the worth until it comes in handy when nobody is expecting it. I had internship in a teaching hospital in Shagamu. And you will know that in that environment, they were asking me, is this an experienced pharmacist? Why? Because I had applied myself all those ASU strike in Fontana Pharmacy in Ijebu. And by the time I was getting to higher levels, they trusted me so much that I could do a whole lot of things. Yes, under guidance, because my Oga will still be around. But by the time I was stepping into internship, from day one, I was miles ahead of all of the people they recruited at the time. And so it is not a big deal that you will work without pay, but is the environment appreciative, and are you actually able to pick up the right skills and learn? In Stanford University, I eventually found out when we went to the Stanford program in 2020 that these things are actually embedded in the Oyibo way of teaching. They call it internship. You are not expected to be paid anything. Just go into a company where you can apply some of those skills that they've taught you, whether in MBA school, whether in some of their programs, and you can work with it as much as possible.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Work in an environment that appreciates you. Work in an environment that would know your value. Work in an environment that you will learn for. Like, it's very, 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 very essential. Like, because in a conference now, I did pre-IT in 200 level, 300 level 2. I did. Then during this ASU strike, so I've been going, although I don't go all the time, but I feel like it's very, very essential for me to just go and learn. And also learning how to interact with people is very, very, very important. Because human beings, we are special creatures, really. We have a lot of way of thinking and diverse and versatile way of thinking. So learning from this place is actually very, very essential. So guys, sometimes the pay will not actually matter. What would really matter is what you learn from there, how appreciated you are from there. And sir, dealing in community pharmacy is kind of tricky. You get to have employees that are like the good ones, then we have the ones that are like the bad eggs, the ones that are very rude, regardless of who you are. Some that will look at you like you're an IT student, you're here to be a pharmacist, they will look at you like you're an insect, really. So how do you actually get to deal with all these people? And also, while answering that, someone drops a question, and the question said that
let's take it one after the other now. We are not in pharmacy school exam only. I told you I'm here to answer all questions. So sorry, the first question you raised now is about the way the people appreciate you. Huh?
Yes.
Okay, so
now co-workers will not think
so
this.
the problem starts with you. How did you perceive yourself? Because like I always tell new inductees in Vanguard Pharmacy, even if we recruit someone as CEO today, I will still give that advice to the person. For as long as you are coming from the outside world, you need to come in and also humble yourself. I don't know if you get that. And anywhere where you humble yourself, it's most likely that the population in that environment will receive you well. If you come in with some bit of arrogance, the environment will also notice that and they will not be able to receive you well. And we should remember that there have been some people on ground, they understand the business environment and the culture of the business environment more than you, that is coming there newly. And so it's about being humble yourself to actually learn from them as much as possible. And if you can do that to a large extent, people will accept you. And it is possible you have one or two that won't accept or want to receive you well. Please engage them as much as possible. And when you engage them in a positive way, a lot of them will also reason along with you and work with you. And if you eventually now end up with one or two that will still haven't taken these 2 steps, bond them and do your work and your learnings, and nothing will happen. The person eventually, when the person eventually begins to see your quality, the person who also wants to align or associate with you as much as possible. So those are not big deals at all. And we shouldn't make a whole out of them.
Okay, guys, so wherever it is you find yourself, the first question is to ask yourself is, how do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself? So when you get to a new place, you don't know the people there, try to like humble yourself, try to understand how things work there. And even when you encounter people that will be like thorn in your skin, just try to like accommodate them to the best of your ability, and if not, it's not, you can't be friends with anybody. Just know that. So now let us move to the questions and answer by our participants. Okay, so we have one here that says that, what does Pharmacist Taofik think of business owners that always sack their employees after a few months because they feel they will know too much about their business?
It's simple for me, and without apologies to such kind of employer of labor, they don't have a business in the first place. What they have is they are self-employed, and they will continue to do and run their business around themselves. Such people will be able to go on leave. Such people will be able to go on sick leave. Even if they are sick, they will first come and be around the business environment. So those are not people we should emulate at all. Because when you say you have created a business, you have not created a job for yourself. What a lot of people are doing is creating job for themselves. But when you say you have created a business, that means you have created an employment for a lot of people. And the employee, the employer of labor, deserves some bit of a rest. I don't know if you get that. And there is no way. In fact, there is a standing rule in Vanguard Pharmacy. When you go on leave, nobody will call you, no matter how long. Maternity leave, 3 months, we would never call you. Unless we want to greet you or we want to come and eat in your house during naming ceremony, we won't call you. Because it's expected that whatever you are doing on your desk, there must be someone else that must be able to do the same thing. And if you have such business environment, you can't say, in fact, we empower people, they must know it. So if anybody is sacking people because they don't want people to know it, I'm telling you that those people don't have businesses. They are self-employed, and they are not the kind of people we should be wasting our time discussing in the first place.
Okay, sir. So an employer that chooses to be, is this something like Abokoku, that wants to take the work all by themselves? They are just self-employed. They are not.
It's as simple as that now. We have got a lot of them in the space. In fact, there is this book I will recommend to all of you. You can go, you should be available free online now. E-Meet Revisited. Let me type it in the chat box for everyone to see. You will see such kind of people, the way they describe them, and that's where almost all entrepreneurs start from, but a lot of us transition. E-Meet Revisited. Yeah, by Michael Gaba. You should be able to see it. I think it's available free now online. I drop it now. That book will describe such people to you, and you will see them live from that book. But the reality is, again, is that was how all of us started. When we started Vanguard Pharmacy, the key of Vanguard Pharmacy used to be in my pocket. In fact, I remembered when my wife was giving birth to our first daughter in usage. I was in the labor ward all night. I still needed to dash down to the store to come and open the store in the morning. That was 2006. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
I'm asking myself today, I can't enter any Vanguard store, not even the head office where I'm currently speaking to you now, unless their doors are open. I don't even know what happens, who keeps wearing. I can't enter. I don't. If I forget anything, it's until the door is open to me. So it tells you that we must have people. That's why we created SOP, standard operating procedures. That's why we take people on training and retraining. Everybody must know how we run this thing. Yes, some employee will come and know what you are doing. Some will apply it and stay with you. Some, after some time, will leave and go and replicate it. It's not a crime. That's why entrepreneurs across the world are respected, because they end up creating more businesses. Have you ever, you guys know the story of Access Bank? That Access Bank is actually an offshoot of GT Bank. They were top senior managers in GT Bank, and because there could only be one CEO at a time, what happens? Some of them left to say, let's go, we are also mature to be CEO, let's go and they created Access Bank today. So you will see GT Bank doing well, Access Bank doing well, and the opportunities are there for a lot of people to continue to excel. That's a lot of people work with Gmobia and Zenith Bank. They have created a lot of other companies today, and they are doing well, and everybody is still doing well. So it's like creating your ambassadors all across the globe. We have pharmacists, vet doctors, and other people that have left us to do their own business. Some relocated out of the country, the US, UK. We do business together. They facilitate what we do today. So all of those things are non-issue. Please, to the young ones, don't look at such people as people you will take as your mentor, because you will only continue to learn the wrong things. And I don't have any apologies to people that try to run their business that way. It's a choice that they have. But there are better ways of doing it as much as possible.
Thank you very much, sir. Zainab, I hope that answered your question. Any employer that chooses to dismiss his or her employees because he feels they know too much about his or her business is no entrepreneur. He's just running a one-man show. So we should all learn to grow together and let other people grow too. So let me read another question that we have here. It says that, as a young pharmacy student looking to intern at Vanguard Pharmacy, can you take us through what the qualities Vanguard looks out for and the steps we need to go through to get on board?
I am under Vanguard oath to protect some things. And one thing, if I want to begin to go into that, means I would just want to probably release for you the kind of questions you were asking. But without saying that, the fundamental thing Vanguard Pharmacy is always looking out for, not just for intern, in anybody we are bringing on, is, do you have the hunger to learn, unlearn, and relearn? It's as simple as that for us. For as long as you have the hunger to learn, to unlearn and relearn, that's all we need. And all you need to do is, for intern, it's not as rigorous. At times we advertise, and I'm sure we are currently advertising for intern or pharmacists. I can't even remember, but for intern pharmacists, we have 3 cycles in a year that we recruit interns. We recruit in the early part of the year, the middle, and around this time of the year. It's 3 times, because we have about 12 to 13 interns at the moment, and the number should be growing to close to 20 early next year, 2023, as we enter 2023. So if anybody is qualified or you have friends, tell them to just send in their CV to info@vanguardpharmacy.com and it will receive attention. Aside from that, when they see our advert, I can also say, follow us on our social media handles. We are available on Facebook as Vanguard Pharmacy Limited, or LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and just search Vanguard Pharmacy. At Vanguard Pharmacy Limited on IG, and once you will see our regular posts. And once we receive CV, we always call for interview at those regular intervals. But because we want 3 sets for interns, so the batches, all of them in a year don't graduate at the same time. So I know some will be rounding up by November, December now. Another set, I think, by around March, April, middle of the year, then the end of the year. So that's the kind of cycle that we. But like I've said, when you are coming for an interview, just remain calm. We are not going to be asking you anything out from the textbook as much as possible. From your regular basic knowledge, but most essentially, are you willing to learn? And once you can show to us that you have that passion, I can guarantee you are almost 90% in with that, with what I've given you. But again, like I said, the internship in Vanguard for me, and from we started training interns since 2016, and it's people have passed through us, and it's been awesome experience. Some of them are out of the country today. They even value our training more when they go out of the country. It's like Vanguard Pharmacy has prepared them for what they are going to meet in Europe or America. And we are so proud of it because that was exactly what we wanted. Some of them have been back as full-time staff in our employment too. The person leading, in fact, 2 of our branches now are actually interns that were trained from us, and they came back willingly that they just love what they did. They want to come back and work here. And so that's actually our story, and we are excited, we are motivated to keep churning out that kind of a story as much as possible. Then I think there is a speed to that question. What was that?
Okay, it's just the steps to take.
Oh, so I think I actually answered it. So no serious step to take. You don't need to know me. You don't need to even know anybody. For as long as your CV comes in, the chances that you will follow through the process is almost a guarantee for us. We are not a typical Nigerian company. In fact, while trying to look for who you know in Vanguard, will have completed the recruitment process. So I always tell people, once you are interested, go to our Facebook page or our social media and do our website, just send an email, attach your CV. And for all you care, you'll see that that process can be activated. It can be as simple as that. I would like to listen to Calista. She's been wanting to ask me a question. I'm actually scared. Really, I hope I'll be able to meet her expectation.
Okay, Calista. Hello, Calista.
Hello, Alima. I'm here.
So you have the floor now, Calista.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. So first of all, I would like to thank the speaker, and also thank you, Alima, for the wonderful questions you asked while the speaker was going on with his session. So thank you, sir, for all the insights you've given to us, and then the wonderful speech, and then a lot of points that you talked about. So my question is, you talked about a collaboration with health. When you talked about the test that you run in Vanguard Pharmacy, there was an establishment you talked about. You had a collaboration with that you are able to run tests. So I was like asking, is it that you employed a lab scientist from the establishment that runs the test, or pharmacists are the ones that run the test? And then is it run inside the pharmacy, or is a facility outside? Because I think there are some tests that would require someone to visit a hospital, something like that.
Okay, thank you very much, Calista. Your questions are very clear and direct. One is Life Clinic is a registered company in Nigeria. They have their license and affiliation, and we've been running as a partner since 2013, when the idea was actually novel and new. The owner left Nigeria, relocated to the US, came back to Nigeria and wanted to do something. And someone recommended him, and we met, we discussed, and it was a great discussion we had. And since then, we've worked together. They recruit their team that stays in our business environment. That staff is responsible for running the tests while our pharmacists are busy and they just oversee what they do. But once that their staff closes by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., our pharmacists can actually also run the test. They have the capability, and they actually do that too. But for some of our locations that are quite busy, they've been able to actually make sure they cover us all day for as long as the stores are open. Yes, for 1 or 2 tests that needs to be taken, today technology has seriously is making a lot of things very, very easy. And we have almost a lot of tests now have point of care testing embedded in. And that's a lot of solutions will work together, and it will go back to the US, come back with recommendations and solutions that have now been certified and accepted, not just globally, but also in Nigeria as much as possible. So there are in some situations that they will need to send the sample out to their center. But essentially, about 85 to 90% of those tests are actually done inside. And yes, they recruit their people, and our team too also understands what they do and they can also run it. In fact, there are some times that they can run out of their own test kit. The pharmacists will use their own test kit to actually complete a lot of those tests as much as possible. I hope that answers all the questions you asked.
Yes, sir, it's very clear.
Okay,
it's very clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we have Abdulafiz Oladuntoye.
sorry, someone requested, sorry, Alima, someone requested I share my phone number. I just did, I shared my phone number, and like I mentioned, I'm best reached on WhatsApp. So if anybody wants to reach me, please, they should just introduce themselves so that I can know that I met them through this network and I'll be able to add their number. And please don't call me, I'm best on WhatsApp. If you are truly interested, I will obviously respond to you. And I know a lot of the younger generations are always more interested than our own generation. So because you guys are the one pushing me, I work with a lot of young team in Vanguard Pharmacy, and they've continuously pushed me as CEO to make me better. So yes, Abdulafiz Oladuntoye, let's go. Is your question?
Okay, Abdulafiz.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, thanks, sir. Thank you very much for the lecture, sir. Jazakumullahu khaira. Now, so my first question is that technology generally has been something like a game changer for almost all businesses around the world. So so how has that impacted Vanguard as an organization? So that's my first question. Sorry.
Okay, because the way you started, I knew the question would be more than one. Okay, I've taken that down. Technology and the impact on Vanguard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Two?
Okay, so secondly, personally, as a future pharmacist, what advice can you give me as regards the technological advancement and like getting a profession and getting an identity with the advancement in technology, how I can incorporate the technology and pharmacy together? Like,
okay, thank you. I think your question is very clear.
Okay, sir.
Any other one?
Yes, sir. But I think that would be better on WhatsApp. So inshallah, thanks.
No problem. So let me start by saying clearly that technology and Vanguard Pharmacy are friends. In fact, the technology has impacted our operations massively, and we won't be able to do the scale that we are currently doing now. To manage 300 employees, we have over 40 cashiers that works on our system per day, and our head office is seated there at the head office and they're able to track what they do online real time. Inventory moves almost every day across all our different locations in the Southwest daily. All of those things are backed massively by technology. In fact, our investment in IT and tech, we actually pay in dollars as we speak. And so technology is what is allowing us to do the kind of skill that we are currently doing. And we will obviously do more. We have the capacity to deliver medications to every part of the globe. Why? Because we have adopted technology and people are able to reach us all through our social media platforms. WhatsApp is big business for us as we speak. Our IG space, our Twitter handle, our Google account, we receive a whole lot of information. In fact, we have a full-fledged functioning department for IT and tech in Vanguard, though not at the scale that we want. So there are a lot of things we can still do, we know, as an organization. We tested the ability to be able to, for clients to be able to buy directly through our website, but we did it, we had it for some few months, we had to stop it for obvious reasons, because we found out that a lot of our customers are even with their phone. So there's something we are working on now that will allow our customers, wherever they are, to just pick their phone and just order through the app. So instead of looking for a website now, Just download a particular app and you can actually get to buy anything from Vanguard. So a whole lot of things is actually ongoing. For where you can have your space, the first advice I always give to the professionals, please, when you go to study tech, don't forget that your primary base is pharmacy. And there are a lot of solutions that you can bring into the space to actually improve what we do in pharmacy space. You can go and check this guy, Pharma Hub. There is a Pharma Hub. This guy, Pharma Hub. Sorry, not Pharma Hub. Pharma Incubation Hub is there. Okay, yes, that one is Pharma Hub, not Incubation Hub. Check it. He's a young pharmacist, a way junior of mine, but he's doing great. There is this guy too, that finished from University of Ibadan, that used his knowledge of artificial intelligence to create solutions that can detect fake drugs without taking any medications to the lab. Just by ordinary scanning the medication, he'll be able to tell you whether the medication is fake or accurate, up to stating the ingredient, the composition of the ingredient. So there are a whole lot of things that you can actually find your space in with tech. But remember that as you develop your tech skills, please be willing to apply them in whatever challenges we are all facing in the pharmacy space, because it's going to be easier for a pharmacist who have a knowledge in technology and tech to be able to actually come and solve a lot of the problems we have. One way they are also using tech in pharma today is still at the budding stages. The National Drug Distribution Channel has failed because we are looking, government don't have money to build a massive infrastructure. But some people have created an IT platform and they are listing almost all the companies. And so by the time they finish listing all companies, you cannot buy anything unless you go through that app. And that actually helps us eliminate fake. That actually helps us eliminate medications going into wrong hands, and a whole lot of things can happen. So yes, tech is a big thing. I'm a big fan of tech, and they know me in Vanguard Pharmacy. We have taken a lot of bold steps in the past to spend very high on tech, and we are still doing that as an organization, and we'll continue to do that as an organization as much as possible. So Oladunjoye, you have your space, and you can obviously succeed and do big in tech.
Okay.
So I will expect the third question via WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much.
But again, let me quickly say that means you are selfish. You don't want other people to benefit from my response. It's on a lighter mode. It's on a lighter mode.
Yes, sir. Okay. Lastly, sir, I'm sorry. Lastly.
Yeah.
I'm presently into something like website design. So
okay.
Into the so I'm looking into the pharmacy niche actually, because I believe that is going to give me an edge.
Website design is too basic. Please, if I will advise you, if you have a website designing skill, that's too basic. Even my daughter that finished high school just this year will do perfectly in a lot of web design, and she got that in less than a week of attending her IT classes. So please, if it's web designing, it's too basic, and you should think of retooling and scaling yourself to really enter tech. There are a lot of things that can be solved in pharma space that you will need those tech skills to actually do. But please don't do web designing, is too basic. It's too basic.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, Jazakumullah.
Yeah.
Abdulafiz, is that your third question?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, sure, keeping that question from us. Don't want us to learn from
it's actually a little bit related to religion, so that's why.
Oh, that's good. That is fine. Thank you so much for considering all of us. Thank you so much. So we have someone to testify that he worked. We have Odukoya. He testified that he was privileged to learn at Vanguard Pharmacy Ventura branch in 2019.
Who is that? Who?
Odukoya.
Who is Odukoya?
Olajide.
Oh, I don't know. There are a lot of people I don't know in Vanguard again. In the past,
yes,
I used to
worked with Farm Mufida.
Farm Mufida. Oh
Yes.
one of my
I'm from
top
Olufua.
manager. I know Olufua. Oh, you work with great guys then. You work with great guys. There are a lot of people I don't know again. How many people can I know from over 300? And you know, that was what I was saying about when you actually created a business. For us in Vanguard, our idea is to create an institution, make an institution at the end of the day out of the Vanguard Pharmacy brand. So people will recognize you. I don't necessarily need to know them or recognize them. And I'm actually excited. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So Abdulkadir also asked that what is the difference between a technician, manager, and an entrepreneur?
You will need to go and, okay, someone mentioned Pharmacist, RX, Adebayo Alonge, yes. That's RX all, the guy that invented the scanning machine I spoke about, yes. So what's your question?
So I was saying like what the book is all about.
Yes, I responded already to you. I responded already. Have you seen my response?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
you are very, very correct. Yeah. Because all of us, when we graduate from school, we are just a bloody technician. Irrespective of the profession we studied as a physician, a pharmacist, an engineer, accountant, lawyer. But that book is saying that for you to actually be able to excel, you must be able to transition into becoming a manager and ultimately an entrepreneur. And you will now end up having a mix of those three things in you. And that is when you can truly say that you know how to run a business and an organization. And obviously you can be from there transition to creating an institution out of this. Thank you very much, Abdulkadir. You are very, very correct. You've actually read the book. I wish you will read it again anyway.
Okay, Abdulkadir, time to relearn.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So someone also asked that running a community pharmacy, how are you able to monitor your business from the growth? And how are you able to, in a community pharmacy, there will be thefts, there may be money or goods, there will shall be theft. So how were you able to deal with it? And also the person also asked that how were you able to sustain financial hardships?
Financial what?
Hardships.
What does that mean? Hardship.
Maybe during the business, there was some like financial constraints.
Okay, okay. So the first question is,
how are you able to monitor your business?
So business monitoring, shrinkage, and all of that happens to almost all businesses. You understand? And what we will do is, for me, the way to prevent pilfering and all of that, the primary thing is how do you treat your people? Because if you don't treat your people well, there's no way they will believe in what you're doing. And so in business, there are three things. We call the people, the process, and the products. We call them the 3 Ps. So the people are the most important out of all of the 3 Ps. In fact, in my own way, I will always call it the people, the people, the people, before you now bring on the process and the product. So I turned it into 5 Ps. The first 3 Ps are people, people, people. So because if you don't treat people well, for example, you spoke about the person that sacked people after some few months because the person doesn't want them to know. So what that simply means that there is nobody that will join that organization that wants to be committed to what they do in that business environment. But if you treat your people well, there is a higher chances that people will want to do the right things as much as possible. Now, you now lock it with processes as much as possible. So anybody that is going outside of our laid down agreed processes, everybody can know that, oh, this person is not doing what we have all agreed to do. And those are going to be the outliers, and they can be picked, they can be punished. So for us, when we see anybody that bypass our processes, whether as a customer or as a staff, we make sure there are clear standard ways of dealing with them. We get them arrested, get them to the police station, we get them prosecuted in the courts. And irrespective of who you are, that's the process we will follow. So, but before then, we have made sure that we treat all our people well, pay them an average, above average salaries. We don't necessarily pay the highest in the industry, but we pay more than a lot of people, the average in the industry. And so those are some basic things that as much as possible we try to put in place to make sure that pilfering and all of that is actually reduced. Some things happen that you cannot even find. And again, our budget and budgetary control helps us too. So the budget already assumes that we are going to do some inventory. So that already goes into the kind of target. So it's a whole lot of mix that we might need to organize another separate class for me to teach you budget and budgetary control, and all of that helps us into actually run a better organization around inventory.
All right, thank you so much. So Aisha, hope you're able to get the answer to the question you asked. And I hope you're actually satisfied to it. So theft, mishaps in relation in business can happen at any time. So how you monitor it is very, very essential, and how you treat your workers to will determine the rate at which it will occur. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this amazing session, because from this session, we actually all learned a lot. Personally, as a person, I'm very, very satisfied, and I got hungry for knowledge, ability to learn, relearn, and unlearn too. So, sir, what advice do you have for us as young colleagues, up and coming colleagues? What advice?
All the ones I've been giving all day, the last 1.5 hours or 2. We spent over 2 hours. We started, okay, 3 minutes, let's say 2 hours.
Yes, 2 hours.
I've given a whole lot of advice, but again, the primary thing I'll close with, if you ask me to close, is to say that I know the young ones, you are in a world that's highly tempting. You find out that because of your exposure and training, you can practically fit into a lot of things. Like I read about you, Alima, when you started, you said you can do this, you can do that, you can do a whole lot of things. And that's the way all of us are. But like I always say, please, when you are young, don't dabble into a lot of things. Come into pharmacy, start it, and contribute your own quota as much as possible. And with the way I describe it is, follow your passion and ensure you bottle the passion. Because if the passion is not bottled, there is no way you will make money out of it. So if you are doing this, you are doing fashion, you are doing cooking, you are doing pharmacy, the question is, which one do you truly want to make money from? And the easiest way to bottle your passion is to begin to make money out of the passion. And the easiest way to make money is to focus on one thing at a time. And once you focus on that thing, you become a master. It's from there now easier for you to begin to expand and blow as much as. And I know the younger generations wants to blow. So that's the advice I will give as much as possible.
All right. So thank you so much, sir. I hope we all learned one or two. It's more than 1 or 2 things. We all learned a lot today. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate. And also, as a closing remark, our speaker has said that do not dabble into things. Focus on one thing at a time. Find your passion, bottle it. And how can you bottle your passion? Make money out of it. Get rewarded out of it. Get value from it. Thank you so much for your time, sir. And also, thank you for sharing your contacts with us, showing that you are a person full of warmth, willing to welcome us. Thank you so much. And as also for closing time for us, thank you so much. So now that we don't have any other questions, we've gotten our closing remark. I would like to wish every one of us a pleasant night. I would like to wish every one of us a pleasant night and a wonderful tomorrow. And also for us to live here, I hope we all are living here with motivated goals. We all have ambitions. I hope we all have clarity on things you want and how to run things now. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. And we would ensure that we reach out to you because you are a person for us. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. I wish you a pleasant night.
Sir.
Thank you, Alima. Thank you, sir. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.